is a 2006 Ford Mustang, and it has a bad wheel bearing. And so what we have here is the factory bearing, and it consists of not just the bearing, but also the hub, the studs, as well as the anti-lock brake sensors, that the sensor actually detects these metal studs. So we will be removing the wheel, placing this on, and also you have to replace the one-time use lock nut that goes on there, as well as the plastic cap. So this is the plastic grease cap. It says do not remove. This is also one-time use only. So we'll be replacing all three of these components in this video. At this point I have to remove the disc, which means I have to remove the calipers. So this is the brake caliper bolt. You have to remove this one to remove the caliper off, so we're going to go ahead and do that. There's an equivalent bolt down below. This is the top one I'm loosening up, and then there's another one down at the bottom, right there. It's sending a screen, so you have to remove that one as well, because you want to suspend the caliper with some kind of cord. Like in my case, I'm using a bungee cord. Do not let it hang by the hose, otherwise it's going to damage it. So I'm putting this here. I'm going to remove the last bolt on the bottom. The last bolt. So I'm just going to remove this and make sure, like I said, do not let it hang by itself. So in this particular case, I'm going to tighten up my that should be tighter, but for what we're doing, this is fine. Here's the removal of the disc. This is the hub assembly that needs to be replaced. So I need to pull this cap off and then remove the nut. Here's the plastic cap. They don't tell you how to remove it. So I'm using an old screwdriver and a piece of wood to just start chipping away at it. Remember, this is a disposable part, so you don't care about saving it. Okay, figure out a better way to get this out. Tilt the old screwdriver this way. Just keep rotating around. That will push the cap out further until you finally get it off like that. Okay. Now actually, I have the torque wrench. This goes to 221 foot-pounds, 300 newton meters. This, I believe, is a 36 millimeter wrench socket, which I don't have. I'm going to have to borrow it from my buddy. So that's as far as I go tonight. Okay, to remove this nut, we have to put a very large 36 millimeter socket. And most importantly, as you'll see, I'm also going to need a very large breaker bar. So I'm not sure if I can get this to stay here. But this is the wrench. And what I'll be using is this steel pipe here. It's about 5 feet long. So when I come back here, in order to remove this, because it has 221 pounds of torque, I'm going to slide this bar over the wrench and turn it very slowly. You want to just go ahead and break it loose and turn it like this. And once it starts moving, you don't need the bar anymore. You'll do this several times. I'm going to drop it right now. And so now I can remove this nut Okay, so I removed it. It's pretty much all off. So here I'm going to go ahead and remove the one-time use nut, and this will show you that I can remove the hub here, which just comes straight out. And that's it. This is the old unit that has gone bad. Not sure why. And we can take a look at the inside up close. You can see it here. The back looks pretty reasonable to me, but I don't see any other grease there. So I'm assuming that my existing replacement, which I showed earlier in the video. So in the earlier video I showed a brand new hub, which is this unit here. Factory Ford part. Has some pre-grease up here at the top. Obviously a brand new bearing. And this is a little plexiglass thing to keep little dabs of grease. Those little dots are actual little dabs of grease. I guess that's to keep the disc from sticking. I'll leave this on here for now. As you can see, it's pre-greased. So I'm going to assume that I simply put this on here. There's very little grease on this hub. So I'm just going to slide it right on. And that's it. Now I'm going to leave everything else on here. Now you'll see the bearing race popped out. Push that back in. That's it. From here, I'm going to install the one-time use nut. So here's the new one that I have. So I'll be installing this and torquing it to 221 pounds as specified by the factory. So go ahead and tighten that up in a second. Okay, I've pretty much tightened the nut, and now I have to torque it, and this requires 221 foot-pounds. So I bought this Husky torque wrench at Home Depot for $79. If you can see here, it goes to 250 foot-pounds. So I'll be taking this out of the box and tightening that up. Husky torque wrench. So it's kind of hard to tell in this video, but is set to 221. Gonna go ahead and get my socket and attach it here. Again, this is 36 millimeter. So I'm gonna torque it until you hear the click. That's 200. Okay, haven't clicked yet. 200. Now it's set for 221. That's it. Okay, right here, the last step is to put on the new seal cap. You'll see here, while this is a supposed one-use only part, it is made out of some kind of hard plastic, hard metal. The old one actually is not bad. If you wanted to save a few bucks, I guess you could, but 10 bucks, all at work, I'm just going to put a new one on. So that's it. We'll just put this on, and we're done. Okay, this cap was a lot harder than I thought to put on, but what you do is you just put it in and then just rotate it. It's not all the way seated. You hit the high end and just keep rotating around. It's like tightening up a wheel in a star pattern. Same thing. That's the end of a bearing replacement on a 2006 Mustang GT. Hope you learned something from this, and hopefully it'll help you if you decide to do it yourself.